Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Reed Bakes and welcome to Card Making Wednesdays. Today I'm going to bring you some fun designs where we're going to use one card sketch. And I know I said three in the original, but we're going to use one card sketch. Hang on, let me just rephrase this. We're going to use one card sketch to make 6 different cards. So we're going to take that initial sketch and we're going to flip it around, turn it upside down, even changing some of the shapes in there to get some really cool cards. All right, let's get started. So these are 3 of the cards that we're going to use as our card base. And what I want to do is I want to show you the initial card sketch. So this is the original card sketch. There's actually a little kind of a contest, a challenge, prize, whatever you want to call it. So let me bring it up what we're going to talk about with that. So all the sketches and all the products, most of the products we're going to be using today are from TLC Designs. And I am going to be using this particular sketch. So here you can see, and there's a bundle that goes with the sketch. So there's a Easy Sketch Bundle 101. You can see the sketch up in the corner. And there are a few products that you can use. There is a downloadable, printable set of, you can see the cutie little fairy with the pencil. There's the sketchbook in the back. There's the books. And there's just a lot of really cute little sentiments that are on there. So, and there's also papers that go with that as well. So that whole bundle is $5 and you can play with it. So if you want to use the sketch with the bundle, you're more than welcome to do so. There's also a die that goes with that, which I'm going to show you here momentarily. Or you can also join in the sketch and join in with the fun by using any digital product. It doesn't have to be this particular one. So anybody can join. So here is the information. There's the Easy Sketch 30-day challenge. So there's 2 ways to win. If you want to buy the bundle and use the bundle to play, or you can use one of the products that she already has. And there's a lot of free digital products that you can use to enter, and you have a chance to win. All the details are over on TLC Designs, so just go and check that out. But that is the sketch we are using today. So this is the original sketch. And what we're going to do is we're going to change this up. Here's the 3 of them are below, but here's the original sketch. And we're going to twist it around and play with it and have some fun. So this is probably the closest sketch that I'm going to get, except do you already see something that's changed? I've turned it around. So let's play with this and let's show you how to make it. Now on here with the original sketch, you can see that she's given some dimensions. There's a couple of circles. There's an element. She's given some information about what to do. But you know what? Sketches are a jumping board. They are a platform that you can use to kind of launch from is the best way to describe it. Now, where did I put all my supplies? I just had it. It was all right in front of me. Oh, here it is. All right, so here I have all my supplies. And I need my cutting blade. So we're going to use an A2 size card. So here is the A2 size card that I'm working with. And I have already cut this down to be a perfect mat. So normally you would leave your card and it would be just like this, right? And you would mat that on there. And these papers are some of the digital papers that TLC Design has. This is from their Spring Fun collection. You can see the paper in the background. So just to give you an idea of what some of the digital papers look like, this is one of them. But we're going to follow the sketch. So just to put that back out there. And I do want to give a couple words of warning when you're cutting on the diagonal, because it says down here, cut diagonally makes 2 cards, right? Now, if you want to flip your card colors, you want to have 2 different colors, you're more than welcome to do so. You can really have a ton of fun with that. I'm just going to stick with 1 color, but you totally can flip-flop it and make 2 separate ones. And therefore, each section of your card, this would be 1 color for this triangle, and that color would be another color. Just depends on what you want to do. Now, when you are cutting, this is my word of advice to you. When you're cutting on a diagonal, I just want you to think about how this would cut, right? So when you cut this, I want you to think about the triangles. For this piece, if I want to follow this particular design to the T, I need to have the bottom of my triangle, the right triangle, the right where the square would go. So this is a right triangle, right? Haha, how many times can I say right? I need that to be in the bottom left-hand corner. But if I cut this in the diagonal, my triangle is on here, the bottom corner, and it's up in the, so I would have it ends up getting flipped, like it's upside down. So I just need to think about which direction I'm cutting my paper in. Here we go. Just like that. And I'm going to show you an example of how it got cut the other direction here in a minute. So now I have it, and see how these fit on here like that? If I had, and I can't do it backwards because my pattern paper is on the wrong side. Now, if you have a solid color cardstock, it does not matter. But let's say I did it by accident and I cut going this way. See how this doesn't fit now? So I have to change the orientation of my card. I have to flip it around. It still makes a card, but now I have to have it go that direction, which is totally fine. That makes a really cute card as well. So it does not matter. It's just if you're trying to be very specific about how you're cutting it and you want to follow the template or the sketch or whatever it is to the T, just be careful of which diagonal you're cutting on. Now in the sketch, keep going back to the sketch because this is basically how to use a sketch, kind of a card tutorial. You might find a really cute sketch and then go, but I want to tweak that, or I want to change it up. You totally can. So notice this looks identical. And then now I have this piece. That's the first part. And these are from a die from TLC Designs. This is the Happy Dragonfly Circle. And you can see it's got the scallop and then it's got the circle that you can see there. And then it's got the little dragonflies. So I'm copying this particular sketch almost to the T, almost. Now in my replica card, this is the number 2. So remember we talked about one sketch 6 ways. For this card, notice how I changed the diagonal. So for this one, remember we said the right triangle was in this corner? Well, for this card, right triangle is in that corner. For this card, and I did cut it out, but I think we're going to leave it out. For this card, I put a strip of paper right there, but you don't have to. When you cut it on the diagonal, what you actually can do is you see how there's a white banner there already? You already have that white banner. You don't have to add another one. So let's go ahead and add my adhesive. There we go. And you're just going to line it up as if it was a full sheet of paper. So look at the diagonals, look at look at the mats that you have. Look how much white space you have on both sides. And if it lines up pretty evenly to the eye, you're good to go. Then we're going to go the other way. There we go. And then we're going to flip it this direction. And again, look at how much white space you have here. And then we have a nice white line. So if you, again, wanted to switch this paper and have 2 different pattern papers on either side, you totally could. So just to show you an example, you could have it look like that. You could have it be 2 separate colors. I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing to play with the fact that it's just kind of split in the middle. It adds a fun design, but we're going to come back and have some more fun. This is only one of the ways we're tweaking the card, is by flipping the design the other direction. Then we are going to place our mat in the center. So this is the first little circle that we're going to place down here. There we go. Just like that. Second circle. There we go. And then for this one, I used the template from this is one of the printables you can see. So this one says every moment created 2 times. If you go and you look at the printable, you can see that in some of the sentiments that are down there, every moment created times 2, or 2 times, however you want to call that. So that is one of the sentiments. I printed it out. I got a smaller die that would fit nicely. It's just one from my stash because I had that. And then I put that on there. I took the same die, which was smaller, and all I did for this card is I took a thanks stamp set, or thanks stamp, that came from her Easy Salutations. So this is the TLC Designs. It has like thank you, birthday. So if you're going to do invitations, it also has a really big, wonderful thanks on here. And I think those are really important. So I just stamped that in black. So we're going to pop that on there. Grabbing my mouse to put it on. I did try to do it in a color, a lagoon, but it didn't stamp very well. I don't know if it was my ink is starting to go dry or what, but I didn't like it. And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to follow again. She's got the little dragonfly, which comes on the die set that, this is the same circle. So this is using the dragonfly, and I've already die cut the pieces out. So I've done most of them. And the easiest thing I can do, and she loved my little container. This is from this is from Make It by Marco. She has all really kind of cool devices for storage. And I love this little container because it's great to store all my little bits that I need for when I'm die cutting. So I'm going to turn this whole thing into a sticker. I just found some really pretty colors that match with the flowers in here. I pop my bit in after I've die cut it, and then I run it through. So my Xyron sticker maker. This is my smaller one that's 1.5 inches. And I thought it would be perfect because these are small bits. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off I rubbed it, and then you pull off the plasticky piece, and then this whole thing is a sticker. It's really easy. So I'm going to line this up right here, just like it is in the design here. But on here, it also says small extra critter, a bow, a flower. You can really play around with it. You can have tons of fun. And then just start layering up your parts for, your butterfly. I pulled that too hard. I'm usually so much careful. It's okay. It's a sticker. It'll stick on there. I left its little wing. I was rushing and I pulled it off. It's okay. Still works just fine. I'm going to pull the other set of wings. So it has 2 sets of wings. It's got the base of the body, and then it's got a couple of different, this is like a little spiky thing. It also has a regular flower in there for like the body. Oops. And then that fits in there like that. So this is taking this design now, splitting it in half. You could totally change the color, just to show you again, wherever my paper went. If you wanted to change the color, you could alter the color if you wanted to, you know. So just imagine. There we go. Just imagine it looking like that. It looks kind of pretty. Actually, I don't mind it. What do you guys think? Should I keep the color? Should I separate it? I can always pop, I mean, this is just barely stuck down. So alternate the colors to change it up, because that actually looks really pleasing with all of that. Or you can do them all the same. So if you did do 2 sheets of paper, because I have this, again, stuff somewhere, I could easily go through, and because I have the other matching versions, I would be able to make a second card. Really easy, right? So let's just leave that there so you guys can see what it looks like, the 2 sides. Or you can just use 1 sheet of paper. You know, it's amenable. So this is actually 3 different ways to make the card. First one, exactly as the picture shows, 2 different sheets of paper, following the sketch. Keep it like this. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. And hello, everybody who's gotten on. We got Danielle and Bonnie and Linda. Hello, hello, Louise, hello. The other one is flip your paper and have your triangle goes the other direction. And if you don't like the white banner in there, change it up to be another color, and then you can still keep the same element in the center. So this is one way of taking this sketch, and we've done 3 different versions of the sketch just by changing up the paper or the orientation of which way the triangle goes. All right, so now let's go to the second one. The second way to do this card is a fun fold card. Look at that. So if you think about it, this is, we still have diagonals, right? But now we can turn this into a fun fold. And this is one of the easiest fun folds to do. All you have to do, I'm going to get my paper trimmer out again. And we need a full sheet of paper. There we go. So you need a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I know my paper trimmer is not going to fit with my diagonal going this direction. And I'm a little bit off camera, but you'll be able to see. Now with this paper trimmer, I have a little wire in the center here. It's right there. And so when you line this up, you also have this line right here. So when I put this on here, I'm going to go on the diagonal. It doesn't matter which direction to begin with, right? And I am going to cut on the diagonal. So I lay this down, and then I use my wire. I kind of place my paper, my blade in the center, and I go all the way down to here, and I go, okay, is my corner right smack in the middle? And if I think it is, I just line it down, and then I look at the top. Is my top? So I look at the 2 corners. So I look from down here, and then I also look from up here, and then I run it. I got a little bit off. Boop, boop, there we go. Okay, so I'm just checking. I'm talking, and usually there we go. Now, it's going to be really squishy. I'm off the edge of the blade here, and I'm off at the edge of the blade here. It's okay. I'm going to show you a really easy way to fix it. Cut to your best of ability as far up and down as you can, and you will not, I repeat, you will not cut your entire paper all the way through. Hang on, I got to put my paper trimmer away so it doesn't fall to the ground and make smashing sounds. So we are just a tiny bit short here, and we're just a tiny bit short there. Easy fix. That's what scissors are for. So just going to come in, boop, right there. And this is a super easy fun fold card. Now, if you've got a guillotine or if you've got a paper trimmer that can fit a full 8.5 by 11 on the diagonal, awesome. Now, once you have this, you take one of these sheets of paper, grab either end, it doesn't matter, and you're going to fold this tip all the way to that corner. All right, see that so far? Take that tip, go to that corner. And there we go. And then we're going to take that tip and match it to the same corner. It's just a little origami, and it makes a really fun fold card. This is a diagonal fun fold card, and they're so easy because it's using the same amount of paper that any of the other A2 size cards, because now we have an A2 size card, and there's 4 different ways that you can use this shape. So when we're looking at our original diagonal, here we go. See how we have the triangle here at the bottom, but now it flips up. It's not just flat. Now it flips up this way, right? So that's the first way you can do it. The second way you can do it is you can open this back up, and you can have your pieces. So see how I'm folding it back the other direction? So now I'm folding it out and up, and it's different than the sketch. See, so now my right triangles are in the opposite directions, right? So it's a different way of how also the card opens. And then the last way, which is what we are going to do today, is we are going to do it so that it opens up and we're turning the design sideways. So you do not have to follow this sketch and keep it vertical. There is nothing wrong with taking your sketch and going, boop, I want to turn it the other way, which is what I did right here. Now, if you notice what I did here, I've turned it so that my right triangles are actually, if you can still see the way that this is orientated, my right triangle is here and here. So I flipped it to the side and then I mirror imaged it, if that makes any sense. It's a little bit different. So when we go up, there we go. So let's put this part together. Let me show you how to make this. All right, so I have all my bits. I already have my fold here. So for one sheet of paper, you're going to get 2 cards out of this because you got 2 diagonals. And for the one diagonal, you have 4 different ways that you can make a card. So for this card, we have it going up and this way. Okay, I don't want to mimic that. I'm going to flip this piece completely the other way around, and we're going to have it go like this. And we're going to have it go up and over, just like it shows in the sketch where the right triangle is at the top and the right triangle is in the bottom. So we're going to go up and over. I could totally go back to having it go like this and like this. I'm just showing you alternations and how to take a sketch and really flip it around and kind of float it on its head. Okay, so here is my papers. I've already done the diagonal cut. So remember, you cut it to be the same size as it would be the mats. You make sure when you put it into your paper trimmer that you think about how you're cutting it. So when I cut it, I'm like, okay, I want my right triangle to be up here, not down here. So I need to make sure I cut it on this diagonal. If I had cut it on the other diagonal going this way, then it wouldn't have worked. So if you have solid colored cardstock that you're not worried about what side's what, it doesn't matter. But if you've got a pattern paper, like I really wanted to use this purple, I didn't want to use the pink, then I needed to make sure I cut it on the correct side. All right, so now we're going to place this down. Oops, just went off my paper there. And you just line it up. So these are 2 triangles and just line them up. Makes life really, really easy. And then do the other one. And truthfully, if you do have a pattern cardstock where it's double-sided and you like both sides, just cut it diagonally and then just make your card fit to your diagonal. That's kind of what I did with this guy right here because I screwed up and I cut it without thinking about which direction it was going. It's like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna just flip it around and make sure it works. Now, this watercolor pattern paper is also one of the other printables from TLC Designs. It's called Watercolor Naturals. And you can see it's that really pretty, it's this one right here. This pattern paper is from close to my heart. There is a 6x6 pattern paper set. That's where all the other pattern papers are coming from. And there's a huge selection of pattern papers. And as always, all my links are down in the information section. What is the size of the pink pieces? The purpley pieces that you're seeing here. So this is an A2 size card. So when I cut it down, the original card is 4 by 5 1/4. And this is written on here. And then all we did was we went into our paper trimmer and then just cut it on the diagonal. And if you missed that, I showed how to do that at the very beginning of the video. So you can always go back and watch the replay. Now, for the rest of the card, we're going to build our little piece right here. And I think I forgot to cut out another little dude. So we're going to have to do that together. I'm sorry. I neglected to do that part beforehand. So we're going to cut that out. We're going to do a quickie little trim. I'm just going to fussy cut this real fast. So I colored it, scanned it, and then all I had to do is just reprint it. And however I colored it the first time, because if I'm making multiple cards, it's a very, very easy way. So once you stamp and color it in, just scan it in or take a picture of it or something, and then you can print out and fussy cut, or, you know, if it's got a die that goes with it, then you just die cut a whole bunch of times. It's a fast way to do multiple images without having to color every single little tidbit. Unless coloring is your jam, then go for it. So I forgot to fussy cut this out, guys. I'm sorry. And I might be short because I used this guy a second time. This was my template for colors. So I colored this guy in, and then I used this as a main template for all the other papers I was using and kind of the colors I was using in this particular vibe. So it worked. All right, so Really quick fussy cuts. Probably could do a better job, but I don't want to waste your time with me fussy cutting. For this one, we're going to pop it up. I just wanted to have a little bit of a pop. So I just have these little pop dots here. So I'm going to flip this guy over and just pop everything up. There we go. These are from scrapbook.com. Whatever foam dots or foam adhesive you have. I have used lots of different brands. Some are thicker than others. Some are thinner than others. But they're all about the same. I have not found any. I have to touch it because I can't tell if I've taken the back off or not. So I go through and touch each one to make sure. And normally I would cut one in half, but I'm being a little lazy right now, not doing that. So I'm going to put that little fairy, a little back to school fairy. This is one of the pieces that comes with the digital download that comes with papers and a whole bunch of other stuff that goes with this. And then this is one of the sentiments that comes with that digital download as well. And so here we go. Just place that there. Now, here's the other key part. This is going inside the card. When I place this down, if I glue this whole thing down right here, I won't be able to open the card. So be very, very, very careful when you're doing this. You want to think about which side do you want to have your piece stuck to. And it does not matter, truthfully. You could have it stuck to the piece that goes up, or I could stick it to the piece that goes to the side. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So I'm just going to have it to the piece that goes to the side. This is another part that you can, kind of play around with. This goes right here. And then, so this one, I had it go to the piece that goes up, right? So you would go boom, boom. And then this one, I had it to the piece that goes to the side. So another little change that you can do for the same, and then boom, right? You're not great at cuts, so I like them with a dot. I do too. I've gotten much better at fussy cutting, and I will have to say having a good pair of scissors, and I love these hingy scissors from Fiskars because it makes fussy cutting so much easier. I don't have to have my fingers in little holes and like go back and forth. So these make fussy cutting so easy, so easy. So now, and I just took a little bit of extra paper that matched this. Here is my card. So again, another way of using the sketch, that one like this, we're going to turn it to the side. And now we have the same sketch, but instead of leaving it flat, we've turned this into a fun fold. So another way of kind of taking a card and tweaking it. If you didn't like the fun fold, if you're like, that's just not my jam, then you could totally just use this particular card as a sketch. And instead of leaving this with a sentiment in the center, we put an image in the center. So lots of little tweaks with one design. Sorry about the ink on the hand. We had a printer malfunction earlier today. So you can take it and you can tweak it and have a ton of fun. So lots of ways. Plus, again, you can switch the orientation around again. So here would be, actually, it would have to go like this. So many ways to play with this card. So this would be a mirror image of this card, but if you just flip it whoosh, this way, you get a whole nother card. I love this fun fold because there's so many different directions you can go with it. Okay, so that is samples 2 and 3, but really I've given you how many different changes to this. We got rid of that element. We just stuck with the circles. We changed it to a fun fold. So lots of tweaks on this one. I should say like one sketch, millions of ways and millions of tweaks and millions of alterations. Okay, so back to our sketch again. Here is our main sketch. Now, what can we do again? Well, let's change the whole size of the card. So instead of having a regular A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, we are going to make a 4 by 4 card. So all I did is I took a standard size sheet of paper. I cut it to be 4 inches by 8 inches and then fold it in half. That's it, right? I can visualize this fun fold Christmas. I've made lots of fun fold. This particular fun fold, I've done a bunch for Christmas cards. They're really, really fun. So we have our, oops, I need to make this. So let's do that. Let's make this fun fold card because I haven't done that. And I'm going to show you another really easy way to, not a fun fold, to make this card. Let's say you already have a whole bunch of pre-scored paper, right? You just may have a ton of it. So what can you do? You already have it. It's already a card size. Let's get out the paper trimmer again. You're like, I really don't want to waste a whole sheet of paper, and I've already bought a whole bunch of these. So all you need to do is get out your paper trimmer again, place your card on here, line it up to be 4 inches, and it's folded in half and trim. Okay, so now we have 4 this way. Now we need to make it 4 inches this way. You could leave it like this, but I like the little square card. So this will fit into an A2 size envelope because we're actually making it a tiny bit smaller. Now, this is the key thing with cutting this way. Don't cut on your fold, cut on the open ends. So place your fold mark on the 4-inch, close, and just trim these little 2 pieces off. So that's one way that you can use a card that's already in existence. Because I just happen to have, I mean, truly, I have a lot of pre-scored already A2 size cards, and I don't want to pull out a whole sheet of paper to make a card like this, so I'll just do it that way. Or cut 4 by 8 and fold in half. You can also do this as a 5 by 5 card. It won't fit into an A2 size envelope though, but this card square, 3.5 by 3.5, 4.5 by 4.5, 4.25 by 4.25. Pick your square size and just double it to make sure that it fits as a square. Squares are easy. All right, so now that we have this, again, we're gonna kind of follow the same format, but again, look what I did. Instead of having a circle, we're gonna do squares. So it doesn't have to be the same shape in the middle. You can totally alter it. So truly the only element I'm keeping from this for this card is the diagonal bit, okay? All right, so from here, we are going to take this and we have all of our pieces. Now for this one, I also chose to do a mat. So I'm gonna take this element right here, all right, like that. And we're going to go here. So what I did is I went down by 1/4 inch. So this is 4 by 4. So this is 3 3/4, 3 3 3/4, or 3 3/4, 1/4 inch down. I always go 1/4 inch down, and then you cut it on the diagonal, right? And then you cut on the diagonal, just like that. Oops, I was going to make this card go the other way. Haha. We're gonna tweak, we're gonna alter again. So this is a card. Remember how I went this direction with it, which matched the sketch. Sorry, I'm tweaking this. We're gonna have it go the other way. And it's gonna get covered up anyway. So I'm not gonna see the futs I just put in there. So we're gonna, again, tweak it again. I want my diagonal to go a different direction. Doesn't matter. You can also have your card, instead of opening this way, let's do that. Let's have our card open, oops, up. And I did a very, very poor job of lining up these sheets of paper because I was so adamant about changing it. Let me line these up better because that's going to drive me bananas. Something about when you're doing cards that are very simple, the cleaner your lines are and the more straight they are to the eye, pleasing to the eye. I'm not getting out a ruler or anything. I'm just looking at how much line do I have this about the same width of white going all the way around my card. And if it does, then you're probably going to have a pretty good looking card. Now, I took 1 sheet of paper, see this purple, which matches her wings, but the pink works really well as well. And I don't know if I have another little girl to cut out. So we're going to imagine. I have to see if I printed one more. I think I might have. But we're going to do the alternate colors. So I took 1 square and we're going to change up the colors like we did before. So now this square, because I went down again, is 3.5 by 3.5. If you want to keep it the same color like I did here, you totally can. This is where you can really have some fun changing it up. Same color or change the color. And I didn't do 2 different cards. Instead, it was just the pattern paper. I like both sides. So that's kind of a fun way where you have all this beautiful pattern paper. You're like, I can't pick between which side. They're so pretty. This is a great card to showcase both sides of that pattern paper, which is really, really cool. And again, when I trimmed it and I cut it, I made sure I had my triangles going the direction I wanted to, okay? And then now I'm gonna put a square in the middle, which mimics the circle from the sketch. And then I'm gonna put this really pretty color. So if you notice, all my cards are kind of in this teal, purpley, pinky vibe. That was my color wheel. So I didn't pull out bajillion sheets of paper. I pulled out the same sheets of paper. I'm just cutting them differently so it works. So let's put this down. And imagine there is a cutie little fairy that's on there. I don't remember if I have one more. I don't remember. I didn't think I printed out enough. I thought I did, and I think I didn't. So instead, we're going to put that on there. So we're going to change it up. We're going to go with a different thing in the front. So we have this cutie little easel, and then there's also a cutie little set of books. So these are 2 of the other elements that you get with your with the bundle that they have offered right now. This is a digital bundle along with some of the papers, not the papers we're using today. There's a different sets. I'm just quickly fussy cutting some of this out. And then there's this really cute easel. And there's actually a sentiment, and I already printed it out. So we're going to use that. It's actually right there. So I'm going to get my bigger scissors. When I cut, and I want a really good straight line, extra tutorial here, I always use a bigger set of scissors if I'm going to want to cut a big giant line, just like that. So when I do a cut, I'm not cut, because that's when you get crooked. Instead, I just do a straight cut across. I'm going to do another one here, line it up, and then just straight across. And therefore, you get a straight line instead of getting a whole bunch of wobbly lines. So now I'm going to do a quick cut of the easel here. How is everybody doing today? I haven't asked. There's been so many wonderful comments. Thank you. Thank you. You're a little late. It's all good. Don't worry. There's always the replay to come back and watch. I forgot to cut this ahead of time, so we're just chatting now. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I've been watching lots of Olympics. How about you guys? Following all the crazy things that happen in the Olympics. There always is drama, I swear. But it's so cool. So I'm trying to like rip it instead of cutting it. I really shouldn't have done that. But I'm always amazed on how much work these athletes, especially during the pandemic, like they still maintained. And it always makes me wonder when it comes to the Olympics, how many athletes would have made the team from whatever country they're at had it gone on last year and there was no pandemic, right? And how many athletes were not ready, but are ready now because of the delay for the year. Like they stepped up their game and they used that time, or they got a year older and did better, or, whatever. There's always the perfect timing for somebody, I think, when it comes to the Olympic Games, because the age is right. They're like perfectly ready for it, minus the super crazy, wonderful athletes that can just, perform no matter what, like Phelps. Bit stuffing from the smoke and wildflowers. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Pam. That's awful. That's not good at all. So the change from this, again, we went from a regular template here, right? And then diving is on now. Diving's cool. It's so cool how to do that. Sorry, sidetrack. So we went from having an A2 size card and we jumped it down to a square. So the first one I made, we have a nice big element in the center, and we kept our triangles going the same direction, but I just turned them into square triangles or square diagonals. And it's just a small little side opening card. For this one, we changed the color patterns on the card, added a square element, no longer a circle. That's the same for both of them. And now we have a vertically opening card. And then now we're going to change up the element again. We're going to have a couple of different pieces here, and then our little set of books just down there. So let me just add the stickiness to this. And this is one where you can put a sentiment in here. A really big stamp like I did here would work well. There's so many ways that you can kind of tweak and amend it. You can stamp whatever you want in the center of this. E equals MC squared just seems to fit because, scholastically. It almost looks like a chalkboard, even though it's kind of an easel. It works. And our little books right there in the corner. So going back and looking at all the different variations that you can make one sketch, how many different ways? Let's go back to the first one. So we have our very first card where we have the sketch to a T, almost to a T, right? So we have an A2 size card, diagonal 1, diagonal 2. You can flip the colors, or you could keep it the same color. I made this one a little bit of a fake out so you guys can see both ways. So you can keep the exact same colors. You can put or you can alternate it. And whatever piece you did not use, if it's not double-sided, you can make a secondary card with that exact same thing. Keeping your circles. So here we have the dotted circle, the outside frame, inside frame. And for this one, I did do one small tweak, which is I added a third circle in here that I stamped and I put a thanks, but I kept the same dragonfly. And all of those dies, with the exception of the smaller circle, are coming from this happy dragonfly circle. And so that's one that you can use. And then it just opens up like a standard card, right? No different. Taking that same sketch, this time, we're going to tweak it a little bit. Now our diagonals are going the opposite direction. So basically we've just flipped which way our right triangles, see how they're in this corner? Now they're in this corner. So I've just rotated the direction of the triangles. Still have the center pieces being the same, changed up the sentiments, still have my dragonfly, but this time I added a diagonal in an alternate color. You can do that. You don't have to do that. I added a strip and then just trim the corners there. So that is a couple of different ways of keeping the exact same idea for the sketch, but tweaking it and a couple of different amendments. Next possibility that you could do are fun fold cards. So instead of keeping my sketch this way, we are now going to turn our sketch this direction. And we have made 2 cards that are both fun folds. Here we go. And this one opens up here. This one's identical to the sketch going this direction. So it goes this way. And I put my sentiment on the inside, right? And this is a little printable that you can get. It's a brand new printable on TLC Designs. It's really sweet. So not only are we adding a fun fold to this, but now we're also turning our sketch sideways. This is the same card, but it's the mirror image. Notice where the right triangles are. And now I've attached this little piece so it goes up instead of the side, but it's the same kind of card. Diagonal fun fold cards. As soon as I saw this sketch, I was like, I have to make that. So again, using the same color schemes and everything, just turning it into a fun fold. The last one is amending it into a completely different size, keeping the same concept, but turning it into a square. So I just truncated it, made it smaller. And instead of having a circle for the center, we made them squares. So same concept, but totally different. So I hope you guys have enjoyed how you can take one sketch and tweak it so many different ways. You don't have to follow the sketch exactly. You can, but you don't have to. So there's so many different ways that you can play with the sketch. This is a challenge, and there is going to be a prize. So the prize is a gift card to the store for TLC Designs. Using this sketch, it runs through the end of the month. Actually, I think it's till September. It's 30 days. It started on the 2nd. And if you want more information, head over to TLC Designs. It's on their Facebook. It's on their website. It's on Instagram. They have it listed everywhere. Excuse me, everywhere. Let me put that little thing up again just so you guys can see. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen right now. So here's all the information. There's also the bundle. The bundle includes all of the digital images I was showing you, the little fairy with the pencil and the little blackboard and all those kinds of things. And then there's also some other fun stuff. So here, oops, wrong one. Here is the bundle right there. You can see it. So if you're interested, join. You can also use a free image from TLC Designs to join into the challenge. And it's just something fun. So check it out. It's lots of tons and tons and tons of fun. Links to all the supplies I've used are down in the information section. Please don't forget to join me. I have another Erin Makes With this Friday. I think I have like for the next month. Everybody is lined up every Friday for the next month. Erin Makes With. I have a special crafty guest, company or designer from all over the world coming to join me, and we learn all about their products and their designs, and we craft together, we create together, we have lots of fun, we chat. It's just a ton of fun. Noon Central on Fridays, and as always, we have our card making Wednesdays every Wednesday. Usually those are live, but sometimes I have to pre-record them if I'm going to be out of town. But the Erin Makes With is always live, so I will say that because I have a special guest I pull into the show, and there is usually prizes. So that's a ton of fun as well. So if you want to check out last week's show, we were live with Zyron, and you still have a chance to go to the show. It is on my Facebook, Erin Reed Makes, and also Erin Reed Makes Facebook and YouTube. We shared it to Zyron, but we didn't stream live on Zyron. And there is a chance to win an amazing hot glue applicator. So make sure you go check that out. Leave a comment, and your comment is just, where are you watching us from? And you have a chance to win. I will be announcing that winner, I think on Monday, next week on Monday. So you still have time to go over and watch those and leave a comment. So just checking to see if you guys have any last minute questions. Seeing what you guys are doing. Nope, I think we're it. So thank you guys so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, hit follow. If you're watching me on Erin Reed Makes, thank you. And if you want to check out TLC Designs, and if you're watching from TLC Designs, come over and like my pages. I would truly appreciate that. Don't have a printer, so I'll need to visit someone to print out. That's okay. You can do that. I've done that a few times. I've had a friend be like, print this for me. And there's a lot of printables where they're blank and you color them in. There's a few that I don't know if any of them are colored. I think you have to color them all in. It's basically like a digital stamp. You just print it out, you print it, and then you're going to have to fussy cut it unless you've got like a brother scan and cut, but they're really cool. So thank you guys so much for joining. Please have an amazing day. Don't forget to stay safe and just create. Bye, everybody.